Hi there, I'm Nancy and this is Frank, and we are certainly happy to welcome you to our home. We are also very honored to be a part of the Flagstaff Symphony's Home for the Holidays. Frank and I owned the Cottage Place restaurant for 22 years, as many of you know. We have now been retired for 3 years and we're certainly enjoying that, although we miss all of our customers. So it's very exciting for Frank to be able to show you one of our famous desserts, Arizona cream. We had that at the restaurant every single night we were open. So I'm going to turn things over to Frank, and you please enjoy him demonstrating Arizona cream. Thank you.
Hi, it's great to be with you here today. The Arizona cream was our fat-free dessert at the restaurant, and some people certainly come in and say, I didn't come here on my anniversary to have a fat-free dessert, I eat that at home. But a lot of people really enjoyed the Arizona cream. It's kind of light and refreshing and a nice counterpoint to a rich meal. Even though the Arizona cream is fat-free, it still has a very rich texture because it's made with Greek yogurt. I created this dessert for the American Heart Association. It was a culinary event that they had established to try to get chefs to work on making more heart-healthy food. And it won that event, and actually won several events over the years, and became kind of a staple of the Cottage Place. Let's start with the first ingredient, Greek yogurt. It's a fat-free yogurt, but it's still very rich because it's very high in protein. And then from there, we're going to go on to skim milk. And it's a dessert that is set with gelatin, and it's very similar to a panna cotta, which is a rich French dessert made with whole cream and gelatin. But we're going to use skim milk instead. We're going to start off with the skim milk, and then we're going to add sugar. It does seem like a lot of sugar, but by the time we add the yogurt and stuff, it'll balance just perfectly. Then we're going to add Knox gelatin. It's just Knox unflavored gelatin. And we're going to add that in. And since we're adding it in cold, it'll give it a little bit of time to dissolve and to bloom. And then we have some honey. And because you're making a fat-free dessert, you have to have some stronger flavorings because the fat actually provides a lot of the flavor for a lot of desserts. And so we're going to add the honey. You know, a trick when you're measuring out honey is if you rub just a little bit of oil on the inside of your measuring spoon, it will come out much more easily and you'll get a more accurate measure. Then we have vanilla, and then kind of our key flavoring ingredient here is nutmeg. Nutmeg adds a nice spice to it. And we're going to stir all that together. We'll let it sit for just a minute. The other flavoring we're going to add is lemon zest. We're not going to put that in until at the very end because any of the lemon products will make the skim milk curdle if they go in too soon. So we're going to heat this up to about 170. Be careful not to overheat it. If it boils over, it will make a heck of a mess on your stove, and it will also maybe throw your percentages off. We're going to set that on a low burner and keep stirring it. I have one here that I've already added everything to and got it to dissolve and heat it up. And then after I've heated it up, I'm going to cool it back down to about 100 degrees, 90 to 100, because if I were to add the hot liquid to the yogurt, it would curdle. So we're going to mix this in very thoroughly. And we'll mix that really well. This was a little cooler than the 90 degrees I mentioned, so it's taking a little longer for it to dissolve, but it's going to blend in just fine. And zest is the colored part of the citrus fruit, whether it be orange or lemon or lime. And this is a microplane. It does a really good job of taking the zest off without getting into the white, which is the pith, and the pith is kind of bitter. So you really want to just go very light touch. And the zest collects on the inside of the microplane. And it's good not to zest your finger. It's not very comfortable. Okay. And then we are going to cut the lemon in half. This calls for the juice of 1 lemon. Kind of a little bit depends on how juicy the lemon, and this one's very juicy, so we're going to do about half. And since it's the last ingredient you're adding, you can also just do it to taste. It's not going to affect how it sets if you add a little bit more, a little bit less lemon juice. It's not that, doesn't have to be that accurate. So there we have it. in the pitcher. Thank you, Nancy. So now that we've got all the ingredients in, we're going to pour it into our glasses. You want to try to be very careful not to get any on the sides of the glasses, because if it stains, it's pretty hard to get the stain off, and it will not look quite as nice. So you can wipe the edge there. And then once we've filled all of the glasses, we're going to put them into the refrigerator. Again, when you put them in the refrigerator, you don't want to rock the glass. Try to handle it very carefully. It'll make it look a lot nicer without the white stain around the side of the glass. And so once we've got it set, we're going to top it with raspberry puree. Again, the raspberry puree is fat-free, but it does have a fair amount of sugar in it because raspberries are very tart. We're using fresh raspberries today. You can use frozen raspberries when it's out of season. And again, when we put the raspberry on, we're going to try to really keep the edge of the glass clean. And then we're going to make a decoration. We call this white paint. It is essentially the non-fat yogurt with skim milk, sugar, and vanilla. And it won't taste much, but it does add a nice decoration. That's why we call it paint. We'll do a little bit of a design. And then we take a toothpick and we swirl it back and forth, a little bit like culinary finger painting. And that is our presentation for Arizona cream. Oops. Again, don't tilt it. And so here is our final Arizona cream, all decorated for your holiday table. And remember, you can find the recipe online as part of this video, as also you can find it in Cottage Place flavors. I hope you enjoy and have a very happy holiday. Be safe this year.